Hey everybody, my name is Roberto Wakerel Cruz from the Post Millennial, and I live in Quebec, La Belle Province. But I'm not from here. I moved here about 3 years ago from a little town in Ontario, and I gotta say, it's different here, man. They have a lot of weird little things about their culture that I wasn't really expecting. And to be totally honest, I had a little bit of a culture shock, and I don't think anybody else in the country knows just how different this place is. So here are 5 things about Quebec that I hate. One thing I was expecting was, of course, the French. I knew very little French, basic kind of Canadian education level of French, and geez, man, the language is brutal. I mean, it is not particularly easy to learn. It doesn't even sound nice over here, really. I mean, when you listen to French from across the pond over in France, it sounds like anything they say is a piece of poetry. But over here, it kind of sounds like a child falling down the stairs with marbles in his mouth. I mean, it is really quite difficult to pick up. And the people are mean if you don't know French, which means a lot of people, English speakers like myself, end up confined in little enclaves like around Saint Laurent, and bars that I frequent all the time tend to be fully English, but it is almost like being a second-class citizen in your own country, which is not only disappointing, it's actually very frustrating. Number two, the food, specifically gaining weight. I moved here 3 years ago. I want to say I was probably about 25 pounds lighter than I am now. And I can't say it's not my fault, but it's also the fault of this culture's incredibly tasty and unhealthy snacks. For example, everyone knows what gravy, cheese curds, and delicious French fries makes. It's called a poutine. They're delicious, and I've had so many of them that I don't even really care for them anymore. On top of that, Quebec has a bunch of different weird kind of treat. Meat pies are really big here. Delicious, love the meat pies. But they also just have weird dishes where it's just baked beans baked in fat. And that's like a thing that you'll eat on like Christmas or something. Which I can't imagine. I've never had it. I can't imagine that being any good for you. The pretty difficult part here too is that it's very cold, which means that I can't leave the house for 6 months, so I'm never going to go to a gym. And getting to that, number three is the cold. And let me tell you, I don't know why I moved here. The cold takes up about 5 to 6 months of the year, and I'm sure a lot of Canadians out there can understand the struggle that I'm going through. But the cold here is different. Montreal is an island. We're surrounded by water, which means we get these cool, bitter winds that destroy your soul first thing in the morning. You wake up, you leave your doorstep, and I like to describe, you wake up in the morning, it's kind of like an egg on a pan, you want to get the egg frying a little bit, but as soon as you walk out that door and you feel the cold that hits your bone marrow, everything stops, and you wonder why you ever left your sweet, warm home in Ontario. Number 4. The roads. Oh, baby, the roads.
Slipping, sliding, swerving, and smashing.
Now, look, I'm not a driver, but I do bike sometimes, and that's a little bit easier. You just kind of across the city. You ignore traffic lights. I can already feel some of you disliking this video from here, but oftentimes you don't really need to listen to the rules. You can But when I am in an Uber, there is so many times in my life that I sit down and we're going down the road and I just see a pothole coming, and I look at the Uber driver and he just is ready to receive it into his body, and you can hear him, and all of a sudden just a disappointment radiating through the car that makes you feel like, why can't they just fix that pothole? I know it's been there for 2 years. It doesn't look very deep, but I can tell it's ruining suspensions everywhere. Number 5, the taxes. Now, I know all my Canadians out there can definitely sympathize with me here, because we all go through a similar type of pain every couple weeks when we get our paychecks and see that the government has gone ahead and taken their fair share. Here in Quebec, taxes, they're a little bit higher, and I'm not exactly sure for what. I mean, I'm not using a whole lot of public services or anything, but I mean in general, like I just said, there's potholes in all the roads. It seems like there's homeless people everywhere. So it often runs through my mind is, what is all this money I'm paying for going to what? I don't even make that much. Everything sucks. And look, this is gonna be maybe the most controversial thing I say in this video, but I am tired of tipping for everything. And this on top of my taxes is really driving me up a wall to the point where I think I'm just gonna move to French Polynesia. It's another nice French-speaking place. It's not in Canada, no more taxes, just live on an island, nice weather, chill with a lei around my neck, whatever it is, because I'm tired of $1 for every drink, 15% on food I'm eating, which is for why. It's like I'm going for a $10 breakfast, and all of a sudden, actually, sometimes I tip a little more for breakfast. I don't think they make enough there. But anyway, what I'm saying is, Quebec, there's a lot of things that you should fix. And all of them are the ones that specifically affect me. Thanks a lot for checking out the video, guys. Leave a like if you hate Quebec, or if you love Quebec. Go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what your favorite or least favorite thing is about Quebec. Again, my name is Roberto from the Post Millennial, and I am out of here.